Video games are always vying for our attention. Hundreds of games come out every year, and we only get to play a couple of them. JRPGs are one of those genres that have so many titles. Part of that is all the remakes that the community seems to always want to push. That's not a bad thing. I've really enjoyed some of the remakes that have come out. We'll get into some of that in this video of some of the remakes that I'm wanting to play. But I am one of those people that want to play so many games and never seem to be able to find the time. And JRPGs, played a couple growing up. Kingdom Hearts is probably the biggest one that always comes to my mind, but I never really got into JRPGs as a genre until a lot later on in life. Right now, I'm trying to more seriously get into them as well. And so I wanted to talk about 5 JRPGs. There are several series in here that I don't want to just play one. I would like to complete the series, but I'd like to talk about 5 titles that I'm trying to get into and want to get into. I remember a couple years ago there was this game that I saw some concept footage of, or it might have been some sort of pre-alpha build that they had put out online, and I just remember just being floored by what I saw. And that was this game called Granblue Fantasy. I don't remember what the original title was on the video, but obviously now we know this as Granblue Fantasy Relink. And it came out earlier this year, and I almost picked it up right away. I can't remember why I didn't, because I knew that this was that game that I really wanted to look into. One scene I can remember without going back and really in-depthly looking at that pre-alpha concept footage was the party going down this dark corridor and then fighting this boss in some sort of kind of arena, or maybe it was a group of minions, I can't remember exactly. There was this kind of incandescent green-blue light or energy that was coming off of one of the characters. I forgot, maybe it was the boss or maybe it was from one of the party characters, but it really contrasted super well with that darkness that was around them that they had just come out of, and it seemed to really just captivate me and to bring this scene just to life. The gameplay looked pretty fun and engaging, and it was an action JRPG. It is an action JRPG, and that's always usually where I lean more towards. I'm more so broadening my horizons right now, as I've said in my last couple videos, that I want to get into more turn-based JRPGs, but right now I'm still more on the action-heavy side of JRPGs and just RPGs in general. I really enjoy that a lot more. And so Granblue Fantasy Relink seems to really have that. I was really glad when they released a demo for Granblue Fantasy Relink, and I've played a little bit of it already, and I was really excited by what I played. I think what they showed off in the demo was some pretty good environments to show off. One thing that really just captivates me as I play video games is scale. And for these Sky Island kind of things, the scale that they showed off in these areas, these very open areas, really impressed me and really just grabbed me, pulled me into the game, and made me want to play the game more. So I'm hoping to make this a game that I start streaming consistently on my channel. I'd love for you guys to come along and join me as I go through Granblue Fantasy, and I'm hoping the story's good. At least it seems that the gameplay will carry me through it for the most part, and so I'd hope you guys will join me as I stream that. So look forward to those streams posted on my channel. So I've been on an Atlas kick recently, and Persona 3 Reload really kind of kicked it off for me. I'm currently playing through Persona 5 Royal, and I'm already wondering what's the next Atlas title that I want to pick up. And thankfully, Metaphor Refantasio released a demo, and had to tweak a couple things on the Legion Go to get the fidelity right for me. And it's so far the demo has been playing decently. We'll see how the actual game plays like as well. So I'm usually a sucker for a good fantasy story, good fantasy world, and Metaphor seems to really have that going for it. The trailer promises even more of that neat fantasy world with some steampunk kind of elements also thrown in there that look interesting too. It doesn't look too far out of the realm of what the cohesiveness of the already established fantasy world is. Sometimes those genres can kind of clash, but I don't know. I've only seen part of the trailer and haven't, like I said, only played the demo, but it looks like it will mesh together well. Usually anime and JRPGs can really bring these different genres together in a way that from the outside, whenever I look at anime or a JRPG, it looks like it won't work well, but then I'll give it a chance and I'll play it and it works well. And there's so many kind of games like this that I continue to not play or to stay away from, and I don't give a chance, but I should, because usually they work pretty well. Definitely outliers, but I need to give these more of a chance, and Metaphor just seems to really have that going for it, so I'd really like to try that out. The combat felt pretty nice, pretty slick, and fast-paced, something that from playing 1.5, well, not really even half, I'm not halfway through Persona 5 Royal at all, but one Atlas game, and the Metaphor demo that I've just come to kind of expect so far from Atlas so far, and I've really looking forward to diving into that and just continuing to diving into Persona 5, but I feel like I might be loading up on Atlas games right now, and so I'm trying to find these kind of palate cleansers in between Atlas games. So maybe some of the other games on this list, I need to play a couple of them in this list between all these massive Atlas games so that I can have this kind of palate cleanser. And I mean, hopefully I'll have the stomach for continuing through these just massive Atlas JRPGs, but yeah, we'll just have to see how I do. So I've been interested in Xenoblade ever since I've got a Switch. Xenoblade 2 was one of those first games that actually came out for it. The word I'd use to describe what I saw of the world of Xenoblade 2 would be fantastical. This sort of aesthetic that just really captures the imagination to really bring me to why I play video games or watch shows or consume pretty much any kind of entertainment. And it's this escapism, this other world that looks just so interesting. I obviously haven't experienced this game yet, or this other world, but I'd really like to jump in and see what it's about. I'd like to obviously start with first Xenoblade, see if I enjoy it, and then see how from there if I want to continue the rest of the series. From what I can see of the game, from reviews I've watched, and from trailers, it definitely has that anime-like story, this bigger world, this bigger sort of goals of the protagonist saving the world from this insurmountable odds, this great evil. Those are the kind of stories and the kind of shows that I like to watch when it has that story to get into something like that. So this does pose a problem because there's 3 games. Each one has like a massive DLC with it as well. What the Xenoblade 2 has almost a separate game attached to it. That even though it's like a DLC, I think Torn of the Golden Country, I don't really know much about it yet. I haven't looked into it in forever because it came out forever ago. But man, there's like probably hundreds of hours with all 3 of those games combined and their DLC. So I'm not the type of person to just go out and buy all 3 games just right off the bat. I'll start with the first one and then from there see if I like it. If there is some sort of deal online somewhere where it does have a have all 3 for some sort of special price, then I'd probably pick that up. But and I'm trying to get mostly physical games, primarily like if I can get them on Switch and they run well on Switch, then I'll probably try to get them first on Switch. But if I can get them on PlayStation, I'll get them there. Trying to go the physical route more so than the digital route right now. Digital's a lot more convenient, especially with the handheld PC I have. I also have a gaming laptop. That's where I do a lot of my editing on. But that's why I'm also looking more towards Switch physical, because it is handheld and it is portable, but there are physical options with it too, and so that's what I really like. So earlier this year I played Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. It's the second Paper Mario game I've played. I mean, second I've finished. I played a little bit of the N64 Paper Mario, but I never got very far into it. I think I've tried to play it twice now. I tried to play it on Nintendo Switch Online and just didn't, I don't know, just didn't click with me. Older games like that just sometimes don't click with me, even though I grew up with the N64. But I had a great time with Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. And I also had a great time with Paper Mario and the Origami King. I didn't have a great time with the Origami King's combat, but the predecessor to all of these Paper Mario RPGs and other Mario RPGs is Super Mario RPG. And hey, they've come out with a remake that looks pretty cool, and I'd really like to try to get into it. I've also played some of the Mario and Luigi 3DS RPGs, and I know there's a new Mario and Luigi game too. Maybe that's for a different list. It's just not on my radar right now. You know, I wasn't one of these gamers that grew up with Super Mario RPG, and it seems like frothed at the mouth for like a re-release somehow. But I really enjoy the whimsical nature of the Mario RPGs, and would like to just dive deeper into the Mushroom Kingdom and a neat story like it has. So hopefully I can dive into that pretty soon. I'm a little strange when it comes to retro games. I grew up primarily on the N64 and GameCube, so most of the pixel art games kind of passed me by. Every now and then I'd get my hands on the Super Nintendo or the original Nintendo Entertainment System at other people's houses and play some games on there. The Mario games were something that was always around, but I generally don't go back a lot to retro games or even that retro aesthetic. So as a kid, I generally didn't like the look of the pixel art as a kid. I just didn't like it. I was primarily like Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64 and Legend of Zelda. Then on the GameCube, you had Sonic Adventures Battle 2, and I eventually played Kingdom Hearts on the PS2. So I just didn't have that nostalgia for pixel graphics like a lot of other people do. But as an adult, I've started to see some of these games that come out with pretty nice pixel sprites, and I've really come to enjoy what I've seen games do with these pixelated sprites. I've really enjoyed the 2.5 HD games that have been coming out recently, mostly for the aesthetic rather than the gameplay or the story that's come out with them. I just haven't really clicked with any of the games. Pretty big things of why I'd pick up a game in the first place. But I came across Star Ocean Second Story R. Definitely a mouthful. But I played through the demo on the Switch and enjoyed it. I liked what I saw, liked what I played, liked the direction of the story. Growing up, when I eventually got a PS3 and would rifle through the game section at GameStop for a PS3 game to whet my appetite at the time, I'd always see some of those Star Ocean games there, but they just never really spoke to me and never really drew me in. But, you know, Star Ocean's something that I've always just kind of seen around, but just never really made the jump into. But the story looked interesting for Star Ocean. Story looks like something that, hey, I might be able to actually get into. Yeah, so hopefully I'll eventually pick up a copy of Star Ocean Second Story R and see how I like it, see if I'm a Star Ocean fan. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So those are some of the older and newer JRPGs that I'm wanting to get into. I'd really appreciate any comments about my list. Are there any games that I said that I shouldn't get into? Since 2025 is just around the corner, be really interested if there are any games that are coming out that you think I should play or you're looking forward to. Would love to hear that. Are there any games coming up in 2025? Any really big JRPGs that you guys are looking forward to? Would love to put those down in the comment section and let me know. Off the top of my head right now, I can't think of anything right now that is coming out. But yeah, I'd like to know to continue to add to my list. That will probably eventually make it into my backlog. But I appreciate you guys coming by. Would love for you guys to hang out here. Love for you guys to like the video and subscribe. So thanks to whoever came out and made it through to the end of the video. But would love for you guys to subscribe and like and stick around and see what else might happen, and hopefully maybe join me on a stream.